I'd like to call to order the City of Apache Junction Council meeting to order. And I guess we can go with the roll call.
Mayor Wilson,
Here.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
Present.
Councilmember Evans,
Here.
Councilmember Nesser,
Present.
Councilmember Schroeder.
Here.
You have a quorum, Your Honor.
All right. With the consent agenda, can I get a motion for the consent agenda?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented. Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Evans,
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Awards and presentations, there's none. Intergovernmental updates. Does anyone else have anything besides myself?
No.
I do not.
And I'm still waiting for the computer to come up, so what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get started on what I did. As you all may know, I sit on the board for the Mesa Gateway Airport, and today we had the opportunity to do, I'm going to say a pretty good opportunity, an event for the future of the airport. Giving you kind of highlights, the airport activity for this year to date has been over 1.3 million passengers that have gone through, and this is through the month of March. And that's up 57% from over last year. The food, beverage, retail, concession, and car rentals have generated over 5.1 million. That's an increase of 77% from last year to date. And more major investments in the facilities out there. So the growing and the additional expansion of Sky Bridge activity, a new air traffic tower is underway and is scheduled to be opened this coming fall. And they're expanding the gates that they can get, ticketed gates, from 4 gates to 8 gates, which will actually increase the abilities to handle more traffic and passengers. And a big change in the rental car return lot. They're doing some major improvements so that they can actually take care of the rental cars there and not have to ship them out somewhere else to do the maintenance and everything else. And then a big improvement on the economy parking facilities. Christmas of this past year, they ran out of room, and so they were running around trying to find places where to park cars. So now they've expanded it so that they will hopefully never have that problem again. The continued growth and expansion of the entire operation is going to increase employment opportunities. And of course, this is right next door to us, so that's a major opportunity for a lot of us in that. Speaking of employment opportunities, we did a groundbreaking for the upcoming Gulfstream facilities. The agreement is for a 40-year lease with 2 5-year renewal options. So basically 50 years, they're looking into the future on this opportunity for everyone. And we'll come up on a picture of us throwing some dirt in this. And the first building underneath the Gulfstream is a 130,000 square foot building. It's valued over, there we are. As you can see, we're on the very east side, and you can see the new air tower that's still finishing up in the final stages in the background back there. The first building that they're going to be planning to put in, let's show the building now. This is the first building they're planning to put in, and this is all on the east side. And it's a 130,000 square foot building. It's valued at over $50 million. with an expansion to the north of that. It's going to increase the total square footage of a little over 225,000 square foot, and it's valued over $100 million. And it's all located on the east side, which is going to be very convenient for people that live in our area. Gulfstream has already worked with the Chandler and Gilbert Community College to establish some courses that are needed for the employees, and have already started classes. And Gulfstream has already hired 60 employees and currently has 60 openings today for employment. They currently have an operation there. They're using one of the hangars, and they can't wait until this is fully operational. And phase 1 groundbreaking was today, and they're going to be a maintenance, repair, and overhaul facilities. And they're saying that this is the West Coast center for their activity. They have one in California, and it got too small, so they've now expanded out into our area, and they plan to do all their aircraft out here. So once the phase 1 is in operation, it's going to be a little over 200 to 250 employees. And when phase 2 is completed, there's going to be over 600 employees. So it's a major employment center that's going to be happening right in our neck of the woods. That's all I have on intergovernmental agreements. Just like to bring you all up to date on that one. Okay, city manager's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Bryant Powell, City Manager. Wanted to share with you some sentiments that I have regarding my friend and our collective friend, Ari Eck. Ari Eck was on the City Council when I became a staff member 20 years ago, and he served in many different capacities. And he was around when we first started the process of bringing on the water district as well as the sewer district. He was the council that was a part of the first CFP and outlined the plan for a new city hall, a new multi-gen, new rodeo grandstands, Plaza Drive, the skate park. For me personally, it was great to go on trips through the CAG region, meaning the Pinal County area. He was the Pinal County, or the city's rep on the Central Arizona Association of Governments. And what I loved about RE is he was so generous. He took us to Kearney one time and let me stay and get to know his family. So for us, this is a huge loss, and we will miss him. And just wanted to share with everyone my thoughts on RE. And this is something we saw today. We were thinking about him, and he's showing off the city hall. That was 17 years ago on our dedication. So, Your Honor, that concludes my portion. I just wanted to share some thoughts on Mr. Eck, and we'll turn it over to Al at this time.
Thank you, Mr. Powell. Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Al Bravo, Public Information Officer for the City of Apache Junction. I did want to make sure that we expressed our condolences to all the friends and family of former council member Ari Eck, who, as you know, did pass away last week. He served the city as a council member from 1997 to 2011, including a few years as vice mayor, as you may have known, and I know a few of you did get a chance to participate in his celebration of life on Saturday. So I did want to make sure that we send out our condolences to his friends and family. A couple of just quick little things that are going on around the city that you may or not be aware of. The library's youth area was recarpeted this week. It looks a lot nicer than it used to. And it's one of course, the most used areas of the library, as I'm sure you could figure out. And so we got a couple pictures, and it was supposed to be a week-long project that they essentially did in like a day and a couple hours, so it's kind of neat. I know a few of you got a chance to take part in the police awards, and so we want to acknowledge all of our friends in blue for celebrating their own at Dolce Vita a couple Fridays ago. I think that guy right there on the right there. Oh, there he is. He's sitting over there as well. And so we salute all of our men and women in uniform in our public safety department for doing that. And I do want to remind everyone that we do have one more part of the freeway project that's coming up this weekend. Last weekend, we had sort of one half. The other half is being done this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, overnight closure. You can see that. It's also on the city's website as well as in our social media. It just kind of shows you that part of the freeway will be closed, but it's overnight, should be open by 7 a.m. both Saturday and Sunday. One's on westbound and one's eastbound. Along with that, the area of Ironwood underneath the freeway is going to be restriped on Friday night, so just be aware of that as well. That's the closures that are going on this weekend. Always trying to improve and do better and look nicer and run a little bit better and a little bit sweeter on the roads. And that is our announcements for tonight, May the 17th, 2022.
Thank you. Public hearing and consideration resolution number 22-01, adoption of updated land use assumptions, infrastructure improvements, plan and development. Rudy.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rudy Esquivias. I'm the Development Services Director. This evening we have with us Ben Griffin with Tischler Bice, who is going to update us on our ongoing development fees update. We are near the end of the tunnel, Mr. Mayor. We got an action this evening to basically approve the land use assumption, infrastructure improvement plan, and development fees draft. After this evening, we still have basically 2 more meetings left to go to actually adopt, consider and adopt the development fees, which are the last few pages of the report. So Mr. Griffin will basically let us know where we're at, what we still have to do, and here's Ben.
Mm-hmm.
Mayor, council members, staff, thanks for having me tonight. You've seen me a couple times so far. We've been working on this for several months. So as Rudy mentioned, tonight we're looking to adopt the land use assumptions and the IIP. You will have a separate adoption process for the fees. You've seen the fees, they haven't changed, but again, that is a separate adoption process. So actually, they're going to publish the updated report with the fees you've already seen. Basically, we're going to take the draft off of everything. They're going to post that tomorrow to start the clock for the next cycle. I don't have the presentation up here or loaded to show you.
I can pull up the report if we need to. Rudy, was there a separate
So, Matt,
presentation or?
So Matt, in Legistar,
It is, okay. Just give me one moment.
should be a PDF there of the presentation. Yeah.
There we are.
Perfect. All right, so as I said, tonight we're looking at the land use assumptions and the IIP, or the infrastructure improvements plan. We'll show you the fees, and then we'll touch on the adoption timeline again. So first part, the development projections. As you see here, we're showing 10 years of development. So we're saying, over those 10 years, approximately 13,000 additional housing units, which is about 30,000 additional residents, and about 1.8 million square feet of non-residential floor area. Those projections are based on recent development in the northern part of the city, and then the Superstition Vistas master plan for that area. All right, so we'll start with the library IIP. So we're looking at library facilities. We're saying based on 10 years of projected development, you're gonna need 10,000 square feet within Superstition Vistas and about 2,000 square feet in the remainder of the city. That translates into about $7.2 million. And the proposed fees related to that for a single-family home would be $550, which represents a decrease of about $454. All right, next up, we have Parks and Recreational. So we're looking at park amenities. Over the next 10 years, to maintain your existing level of service, you'll need 14 additional amenities at a cost of about $3 million. And then there is a plan-based trail component. So the growth share of those 14 miles of trails is about $740,000. The non-growth share, which cannot be covered with development fees, is about $2.2 million, and my understanding is the majority of that is actually funded through a MAG grant. All right, and so the proposed single-family fee for Parks and Recreational would be $1,707. All right, next up, police. We have 3 components. There's a plan-based facilities component. So the plan is to build 51,500 additional square feet of police facilities at a cost of about $28.4 million. The split is basically 50-50 between growth and non-growth. And the identified funding source for the non-growth share, it's my understanding that it's related to the CARES Act. So there's, federal and local funding that goes to cover that about $14 million that needs to be covered outside of the impact fee study. To maintain the existing level of service, you would need 55 additional police vehicles and 117 units of communications equipment. So the proposed single-family fee would be $1,229 for police. And the final component would be streets. So this, we're looking at 4.7 additional lane miles of arterials at a cost of about $8.9 million. And the proposed single-family fee on that is $3,250. All right, and so now you can see the proposed fees. Looking at what we've discussed tonight, the proposed single-family fee would be $6,736, so an increase of about $804 compared to where you are now. Again, you are not adopting fees tonight. That adoption process starts technically tomorrow when that fee component is advertised. Tonight, you're looking at the land use assumptions and the infrastructure improvement plans, which we discussed previously. And the final slide, again, tonight, land use assumption IIP. Essentially what we're aiming for is, adoption of the final fees August 16th, and then those fees would go into effect 75 days later or October 31st. So any questions or comments related to anything discussed tonight?
Any questions? No. Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you. Any discussion from council? Okay, this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to speak on this item? I don't see anyone moving, so I'll close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
Your Honor, I move that resolution number 22-01, adopting the updated land use assumption, infrastructure improvement plan, and development fee report be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Evans,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Okay, I will combine the public hearings for items 7 through 11 as they are tied to the same property. I will have the city clerk read them, the items that will be included in this public hearing, and we'll have a motion for each one separately. Jennifer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Item number 7, public hearing and consideration of proposed ordinance number 1524 related to case P-21-94-PZ, a proposed plan development major amendment of ordinance 1132, and establishing a new conceptual plan for a townhome subdivision of 209 lots, tentatively known as Goldfield Estates. Item number 8, resolution number 22-20, declaring as a public record that certain document filed with the city clerk and entitled Legal Descriptions and Zoning Conditions of case number P-21-94-PZ, authorized under ordinance 1524. Item number 9, ordinance number 1525, related to case P-21-95-PZ, a proposed rezoning by planned development of approximately 7.5 acres from general rural low-density single-family detached residential to general commercial by planned development and an accompanying minor general plan amendment from medium-density residential to commercial. Item number 10, resolution number 22-21, declaring as a public record that certain document filed with the city clerk and entitled Legal Descriptions and Zoning Conditions of Case Number P-21-95-PZ, authorized under ordinance number 1525, and item number 11, resolution number 22-18, case P-21-96-SD, related to the proposed preliminary plat for a 209-lot residential townhouse subdivision of 12.64 acres, tentatively known as Goldfield Estates, located approximately at the northwest corner of Goldfield Road and the US 60 highway. Nick is here to present for mayor and council.
Take a deep breath.
Yeah, Nick, can you explain?
Yes, of
Okay.
course. There's quite a bit to go through. I do appreciate Jennifer for reading that all off. Good evening, Honorable Council. Just for everyone's benefit, I'll give a brief introduction. My name is Nick Leftich. I'm an associate planner here for Development Services of the City of Apache Junction. Again, I thank Jennifer for reading that. There are, for a brief explanation, 5 items related to one project, as Jennifer has read. Items 7 and 8 are both P2194 PZ, and I'll explain the differences between each of them. Item 7 is the main ordinance, while item 8 was a resolution that adopted some of the language and conditions in the extraneous language for ease of reading and for publication costs. Item 9 and 10, it's a very similar situation. Item 9 was the primary ordinance related to the rezoning, while item 10 was a secondary resolution to adopt language and conditions for ease of reading and publication, while item 11 was a separate resolution as a subdivision case for P2196 SD, since plats and so forth are adopted via resolution. So that explains why there's those 5 items, but I'll go into the detail about why this was split into 3 cases right here. So all 3 of these projects are related to the case known as Goldfield Estates. It is located right on the northwest corner of Goldfield and the US 60. Goldfield Estates is a development proposal of a 209-unit townhome subdivision. The whole development is approximately 12.64 acres. Currently, the assemblage of 8 parcels is made up of both RSGR zone land, which is the residential low-density single-family, the general rural, as well as the B1 PD, which is a general commercial by a planned development. To explain a bit, the first case, P2194PZ, is specific to the B1 PD zone properties, totaling about 5.14 acres. These properties are currently bound by the Plan Development Ordinance 1132. So back in the year 2000, there was a zoning case in which this little corner right on Goldfield and 28th Avenue was considered for a gas station right on the corner of Goldfield. And at that time, they had planned, okay, well, we're going to have some kind of commercial development in the rear of it. At that time, they didn't yet nail down the exact plans, and unfortunately, the development never came to pass. But the property was still bound by this kind of development plan and the conditions that were set forth in PD Ordinance 1132. So in order to develop this property, in order to deviate anyway from what that zoning case in the year 2000 was all about, it would require a PD major amendment, which is why this first section had to do with this. And as part of that, as a B1 property, the zoning ordinance does allow that townhomes and apartments are allowed via Planning and Zoning Commission and City Council approval, which is how this came about through the PD process. On the other hand, P2195PZ is a rezoning of these 5 RSGR parcels in order to have them match the same zoning as the B1PD parcels that are involved in P2194PZ. That is because this 7.5 acres, in order to be combined and then subdivided as part of the subdivision process to create this community, it is required that they all have the same zoning and it needs to match the conceptual plan that is being approved as part of these 2 rezoning cases. The third case involved is the actual plat and subdivision of the properties themselves. It will take these 8 parcels, combine them, and then subdivide them into this 209 lot piece of land with tracks, with the lots and everything necessary in order to create this community, as well as things like the HOA rules and so forth, at least on the basic legal land level. So with that, Goldfield Estates, which is the ultimate goal of this project, is it's composed of 209 townhomes. We've got amenity features such as a clubhouse, pool, there's pickleball courts and ramadas around the site. There will be primary access off of 28th Avenue, while I believe there's a secondary or egress off of Star right down here. And with that, most of these units are alley loaded, so there's garage fronts all along the street, while on the front side there's like a patio that can be walked to, and community pathways and landscaping throughout the site. There is community parking provided throughout, but that's primarily for guests, as each unit has its own 2-car garage. And with that, this is the general elevation design. Staff has been working with the applicant. We are generally supportive of these elevations, but we're looking to architecturally enhance them even further, and one of those notes has been included as one of the conditions of approval, just as we work with them, and they've been cooperative with us. And with that, the applicant has gone through the public input process as required. Notifications were published, all signs were posted, and a neighborhood meeting was held by the applicant over Zoom, in this case on March 3rd, 2022, earlier this year. Since that time as well, staff has received 4 calls and emails from different concerned neighbors. Some spoke in support of the development, happy that this land was finally getting developed, just because a lot of people have used it either for riding their ATVs around or just for noise or vagrants and trash or something. And then there were plenty of other concerns, just that this community would bring in traffic and noise and just concerns about how that would affect the neighborhood. And that is what has primarily been expressed to staff. On April 26, 2022, just a few weeks ago, the Planning and Zoning Commission voted unanimously 7-0 to recommend the approval of cases P2194PZ, P2195PZ, and P2196SD, subject to all the conditions that are found in the staff reports. And staff agrees and also recommends the approval with that and with their recommendation. The applicant has prepared a presentation to be given by Mr. Brennan Ray, their attorney, and he is here tonight to be able to answer further questions about the project. But if you have any questions about staff's recommendation or of the staff reports, I would be happy to answer and assist.
Any questions?
Not at the
Nope.
moment.
Thank you.
Applicant want to speak?
Just fine.
Wonderful. Mayor, members of council, Brennan Ray, 1850 North Central, here on behalf of the applicant. I'm certainly excited to bring another residential development to the city, and certainly one in this location on what I believe is a challenging site. I've got a full slide deck that I can make an entire presentation on if you would so desire. I know that staff has done a thorough job in their presentation explaining the request, explaining that we're looking forward to continuing to work with them on the development of the architecture and some of the other, what I'll call pretty elements of the community. But we're certainly, from our perspective, this is a request that's supported by the goals and policies of the general plan. We are, as we've gone through the process, as staff indicated, we've had relatively low interaction with neighbors, and we're appreciative of staff's recommendation and appreciative of the Planning Commission's unanimous recommendation a few weeks ago. There was a good discussion about a variety of topics, most of what I would consider general questions related to the development, but nevertheless are very appreciative of their recommendation. And so with that, again, I know you've got other items on the agenda before or behind me, and certainly don't want to shortchange you or the community by missing out on one of my presentations, but also want to be mindful and respectful of your time tonight. And so we request your approval, and again, Mayor, I'll defer to you and other members of the council on how deep of a presentation you'd like me to give.
Well, we got a unanimous vote from planning and zoning, and we've looked over the packet, and I don't have any concerns myself.
No, I went and had a meeting with Nick yesterday, so I got all my questions answered.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So this is a public hearing. Would anyone like to speak on this item?
Hi, I'm Donna Carr, an Apache Junction resident. I see putting in a housing development over there will probably be a good thing. I prefer that being over by my house other than a drug and alcohol detox place. But I think anything that is north of the trail and anything that's north of Old West Highway should be more residential and not commercial anyway. I mean, what we have going for us is the Superstition Mountain, so blocking it with industry, I don't think would be such a wise choice. Putting that further out in the desert where the desert is open would be a better choice for industry areas anyway. Thanks.
Go ahead. Come on.
My concern is the water issue. I don't know if you guys been watching, Arizona's going dry, and they're wanting to develop this Goldfield.
Name and address.
Pamela Exley, I filled out a 175 South Stardust Lane, Apache Junction.
Thank you.
And that's a big concern. I mean, do these bigwigs tell people that they may go have no water in a few years? That's all I have to say.
Anyone else?
Hello, Ari Callen, 244 West 18th Ave, AJ. My only concern is, it looks like this is gonna be another rental place, am I mistaken, or is it gonna be to own, single-family own, or is this a rental community? I'm just concerned that we're putting in a lot of these commercially owned rental facilities and houses, 200 over here, whatever it is, some more up here on Superstition and Ironwood, and some more off Meridian and Southern, where we should be maybe looking for more single-family owned houses for people to buy that will take pride and invest in our city and our community, rather than just a corporation or a company that owns and rents to the citizens and residents of AJ. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I'll close the meeting because I see no more movements. Public hearing. Can we address a couple of those comments?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Who wants to?
the applicant would like to ask on the rental?
Mayor, members of council, with respect to the gentleman's comment about the rental community, as you know, on your agenda tonight is a preliminary plat. That preliminary plat subdivides these into various lots that are available for sale. And like any traditional single-family community, you will have ownership, and someone certainly has the ability, whether they occupy it or to rent it out, to lease it out. It is no different than any single-family community that exists not only in Apache Junction, but anywhere in this valley. There is a plat on the agenda tonight. We are subdividing it, which is a little bit different, at least from one of the last rental community cases that I brought before you, where that was there was not a plat that accompanied it.
Okay, thank you. And who would want to respond to the water?
Nick, do you want to come up and talk about water? I'll just address that with, the city of Apache Junction has what's called a 100-year water supply, assured water supply. We are a part of the Phoenix Active Management Area and work very closely with ADWR, and are very concerned about the conservation efforts that we're doing, and the amount of water that is available is finite. But Nick, maybe you can share more.
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I'd just like to follow up. Townhomes do require private ownership. So that was the answer to the last question. Regarding the water, this currently is under the Apache Junction Water District jurisdiction. With them, we've been working with city staff and the applicant, and the Apache Junction Water District have been reviewing this plan to make sure that the water needs are taken care of. We are keenly aware of the water needs of the city, and we work to plan responsibly with that. We don't believe that this will be an issue at this time specific to this development. It is, of course, something that we in general need to address. And when it comes to us as a planning department with our concerns, it involves things like using desert-type landscaping and different things that conserve water, and just being smart and efficient with our development. We all know some people need houses. Housing is a big concern. And we try and balance those needs and those concerns with the water needs that are very prevalent living here in the desert. So that is how we have considered it in researching and in recommending this product, or this project, and the townhome product that has been proposed tonight. And that is what I would have to say on that.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to do one clarification. Apache Junction is part of the Maricopa Water District and not the Pinal County Water District. It's one of the few things that we're a part of Maricopa County with. The Pinal County Water District is the one that's in the greatest need right now. So we've done a lot of work to make sure that we've got plenty of water for years to come. I know that's really confusing because people would assume that we're part of the Pinal County Water District, and we're not.
Mr. Mayor, just for anyone's information, we just had a water board meeting tonight at 6 o'clock before this meeting. And you can always go online to the city's website and watch the videos. Are they videotaped? Yeah. And those questions are discussed and answered. So not only just tonight's meeting that was at 6 o'clock, but previous meetings that we've held over the months. And it'll give you a lot of your answers about what the water situation is here in Apache Junction.
Okay. Can I have a motion for?
Your Honor?
Yes, I'm sorry.
The applicant spoke again, so we open it back up to the public.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Well, any other, open the public hearing again. Would anyone else like to speak on this? Oh, of course.
Mahmoud Mohyuddin, 2304 North Cortez Road. We are the western town, western country horse community, and we let everybody know about that. I would like to bring into councils and city's attention, maybe we can follow what the Wickenburgs are doing. They were way behind us, and they grow, they beautify the city. They have statues, they have a horse and all that stuff. You know, maybe we can look into it and beautifying the town when the new community comes in, or the entrance of the gate, or maybe they can have a horse statue or some type of that stuff. That's gonna look really neat about in this area. And for the future, you know, if you guys decide to build a future community coming in, might be a good idea, suggesting they can have a budget for it. Thank you.
That was off subject. Anyone else? All right, I'll close public hearing again. Any council wants to make additional comments? Okay, do I have a motion for item number 7?
Your Honor, I move that ordinance number 1524 be read by title only and the reading of the entire ordinance be waived.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Right, motion passes. Ordinance number 1524, an ordinance of the mayor and the city council of the city of Apache Junction, Arizona, approving a planned development major amendment to amend ordinance number 1132 to modify the conceptual plan previously approved in case PZ-03-00 and establish a new plan development plan for a townhome subdivision tentatively known as Goldfield Estates as described in case P-21-94-PZ as requested by BFG Group LLC, adopting by reference that certain document entitled Legal Descriptions and Zoning Conditions of Case Number P-21-94-PZ, authorized under Ordinance Number 1524 for the Plan Development Major Amendment of Ordinance Number 1132, repealing any conflicting provisions and providing for severability.
Okay. Now do I have main motion?
Your Honor, I move that ordinance number 1524, as read by the city clerk, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Do I have a motion for item number 8?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that resolution number 22-20, declaring as a public record that certain document filed with the city clerk and entitled Legal Descriptions and Zoning Conditions of P-21-94-PZ, authorized under ordinance number 1524 for the Plan Development Major Amendment of Ordinance number 1132, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, do I have a motion for item number 9?
Your Honor,
Yes.
give Gail a break.
Thank you.
I move that ordinance number 1525 be read by title only and the reading of the entire ordinance be waived.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes. Ordinance number 1525, an ordinance of the mayor and city council of the city of Apache Junction, Arizona, amending the Apache Junction, Arizona zoning ordinance by amending the zoning district map, city of Apache Junction, Arizona, changing the zoning district classification of the approximately 7.5 acres described in rezoning case P-21-95-PZ, a request by BFH Group LLC from general rural low-density single-family detached residential to general commercial by plan development and approving a minor general plan amendment changing the land use designation from medium-density residential to commercial for the development of a proposed townhome community tentatively known as Goldfield Estates, adopting by reference that certain document entitled Legal Descriptions and Zoning Conditions of Case Number P-21-95-PZ, authorized under ordinance number 1525, repealing any conflicting provisions and providing for severability.
God bless you.
Our main motion now?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that ordinance 1525, as read by the city clerk, be approved and adopted.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Okay, do I have a motion for item number 10?
I just have a question. Why do we have two motions?
Yeah.
They must have accidentally been uploaded twice.
Okay. Just,
They're the same.
They're both the same.
okay. Your Honor, I move that resolution number 22-21, declaring as a public record that certain document filed with the city clerk and entitled Legal Descriptions and Zoning Conditions of Case Number P-21-95-PZ, authorized under ordinance number 1525, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do I have a motion for item number 11?
Your Honor, I
Yes.
move that resolution number 22-18, case P 21-96 SD, a proposed preliminary plat for a 209-lot residential townhome subdivision of 12.64 acres, tentatively known as Goldfield Estates, located approximately at the northwest corner of Goldfield Road and US 60 Highway, be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call?
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. And everyone can take a deep breath now. Okay, no old business, so new business, presentation, discussion, and consideration for resolution number 22-13 relating to city public safety personnel retirement system.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Leslie Dresch, Finance Director. This resolution is to allow us to move forward with the pension bond, or with the revenue bond to pay off our unfunded pension liability. I've asked Nick Dodd, our financial advisor, to talk to you a little bit tonight to tell you where we are in our next steps. And also Zach Sakis is here if you have any questions on the documents that were attached to the item tonight. Nick will be right up.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. My name is Nick Dodd. I'm with Piper Sandler. We're the city's financial advisor and presented probably about 4 or 6 weeks ago on this subject. Wanted to provide a brief update on kind of progress we've made. A number of legal documents were included in your package tonight. Zach Sakis, who's the city's bond counsel, is here to answer any questions with regards to those. One of the things we mentioned we were going to do as part of this process was seek underlying credit ratings for the city. And we've concluded that process at the end of last week and are pleased to report that the city was rated by Standard & Poor's and by Fitch Ratings at the AA level. And that's a very, very good rating. Just to give you some perspective, Queen Creek is rated AA+, and Mesa is rated AA+. So just one notch, a plus would be the one notch above where Apache Junction is. And Casa Grande today is rated AA, so Apache Junction would be rated at a similar level. And I shared this with Bryant and Matt and Leslie. In 2016, Queen Creek was rated AA when they did one of their first large bond issues. So they got upgraded this year to AA+. So kind of gives you this sense of the horizon and some perspective. The ratings reflect your frankly very conservative financial practices to this point. Almost no debt, very little debt, and obviously rating agencies and investors love that. And you've only borrowed when you had to, and so that was a big factor. And we talked a lot about the growth of the city and a lot of the exciting things that are happening, and the rating agencies understood that. These ratings are very good, and should the city move forward with the bond sale, will help to get the lowest cost possible on your borrowing. And just to keep it in, give you some perspective real quick, the credit rating is like a credit score for you individually. And so the higher your credit score, the higher your credit rating, the lower the interest rate is when you go to borrow money. So congratulations to you and to the city and staff for a very exciting outcome of that process. With regards to the rest of the transaction, we are subject to your action tonight if you were to approve the transaction and the documents. We have a due diligence conference call tomorrow to review the documents and could be ready to get into the market as early as within the next week or two. As you've probably seen, there's a lot of volatility in the markets right now, a lot of concerns around inflation, supply chain fears, and so we are managing through that. I wish we were 6 months ago when things were calm and stable and we weren't talking about inflation and supply chain fears and geopolitical issues, but that is the world we're living in, and so we've been monitoring it closely and have updated staff pretty much weekly. And once we get through approvals tonight and some of these other kind of due diligence matters, we will make a decision with regards to moving forward or waiting to just kind of monitor the market. And ultimately, that'll be a decision that staff makes, because the resolution before you tonight sets out parameters and then delegates certain authority to staff to make some of those final decisions. So great rating outcome and process. Congratulations. I'd be happy to answer any questions on that, or turn it over to Zach with with Greenberg Traurig, and he can answer any questions with regards to the legal documents that were included in your package.
Any comments or questions?
No.
No, I think that's awesome.
I just want to know if we're still looking at 5%.
Still good rating.
Is that still the going rate? that
Nick,
we
what is
know
the
of?
latest on?
We're under
under
5%.
that.
We're in the, kind of in the mid-4 range right now, and
Okay.
that's what we've been monitoring.
With that, like you said, with everything going on in the market,
Right.
I want to make sure we stay at that rate. Or lower.
Correct.
Lower works,
Or
but
lower. We're certainly watching,
least
right?
that.
Correct.
Some hurdle rate number we need to.
I watch it daily and provide updates probably weekly to staff, so
Okay,
we are definitely paying attention to that, but hoping to get a good market once we're ready to go.
great, thank you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Come on up, Zach.
Come on down.
Mayor, Council, Zach Sakis, Bond Council of the City. I've been doing this long enough to know when to stay quiet, but I am available for questions on any of the documentation. Nick got to deliver the fun news about the excellent rating, so congratulations again. And then if there's any questions on the documentation for moving the transaction forward, I'm happy to answer those.
Any questions on that?
I don't have any questions on the documentation, but is that gentleman in the back your brother? I think you have a twin with a beard.
Sydney.
Oh,
When you guys
That's
literally
That's
did a
Sydney.
double take. Sorry.
The world always needs more bond attorneys. So I'll go double. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Can I call for a motion?
Your Honor, I move that resolution number 22-13 relating to prepaying all or a portion of the city's public safety personnel retirement system unfunded liabilities through a revenue obligation bond be approved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Evans,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Thank you. That's going to save us considerable amount of money as well. All right. Appointment of applicants to fulfill the council vacancies as the result of the 2 council member resignations. The oath of office for both appointees will take place immediately after. First off, I'm going to turn it over to Jennifer, and then I'm going to have some comments from the council before we open for motions.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. The only thing that I would like to ask is that council be specific as to which seat they are making the motion to appoint someone to, because there is a difference in that. And the other is to let you know that once you do appoint your 2 positions, before those appointees can take the seat at the dais, I need to administer the oath of office, as for any employee or board and commission member. And that is all I have.
Okay.
Oh, one other thing. Please make your motions individually. So don't appoint that you'd like to recommend this person and this person.
Yep.
Just one person at a time.
One person and then vote.
Yes, please. Thank you.
We'll vote one at a time.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Council would like to make any comments concerning before we start?
I just had a comment. First, I'd wanted to just thank everybody that applied. We had 15 applicants. It's not easy coming up to this podium to do that. I'm going to share a little bit of my own experience. I've done it 2 or 3 times myself, so I understand how nerve-wracking it can be. And I understand what it feels like not to be selected. So it's tough. We appreciate all of you. Out of 15, 13 are not going to get selected. But keep coming back, keep trying for our boards, keep running for city council, keep coming to the meetings. Hopefully this won't be the last time we see you guys in our audience out here. So we appreciate each and every one of you. We get it. It's not easy. There's a big difference between being here and being there. So thank you, everybody that applied.
I'd just like to, again, thank everyone and let everyone know we had several extremely well-qualified applicants, and this was not easy. There was not any great gap between everybody. We had a lot of very skilled, very well-educated individuals, and I don't know which is worse, running for office or being appointed to office. They both have pluses and minuses to them. But thank you all.
Anyone else? Okay. And I also want to say thank you to everybody and say this is I'll say compliment to our community for the number of people that put into it, that you have willing to serve our community. Okay, do I have a motion?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that Peter Heck be appointed to the City Council to fill the vacancy of Kelly Gremmel for the term to expire on January 7th, 2025.
Second.
Moved and seconded and third. Roll call.
I think you took the vote.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Evans,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do I have another?
Your
motion?
Honor,
Okay.
I move, and there, like I said before, there were several well-qualified candidates, but the extensive work with our veterans, not only locally but statewide, really tipped the scales for me. And I move that Bambi Johnson be appointed to the City Council to fill the vacancy created by resignation of Braden Biggs until the seat is filled at the August 2022 primary election, or if there is not an outright winner at this election or at the next regularly scheduled election until the term ending January 7th, 2025.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call.
Councilmember Evans,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
No.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder,
No.
Mayor Wilson.
I'm going to say no because I want to see who else is possibly being recommended.
All right, motion fails.
Do I have another motion?
Your Honor,
Yes.
I move that Frank Shanebeck be appointed to the City Council to fill the vacancy created by resignation of Braden Biggs until the seat is filled at the August 2022 primary election, or if there is no outright winner at this election or at the next regularly scheduled election until term ending January 7, 2025.
Have a second?
Man, that's tough.
So I guess that motion dies for our lack of seconds. Do I have another motion? Want to get out the notes?
Your Honor, I'll make a motion.
Okay.
I move that,
Get your glasses on.
yeah, to see close, I gotta take them off. And I just hit something. I move that, here it is, Charles Beal be appointed to the City Council to fill the vacancy created by resignation of Braden Biggs until the seat is filled at the August 2022 primary election, or if there is no outright winner at this election or at the next regulatory scheduled election until term ending January 7th, 2025.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got moved and seconded. Roll call?
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser,
No.
Councilmember Evans,
No.
Councilmember Schroeder,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
Well. Still haven't selected the one I want. Well, anyway, no.
Motion fails.
Okay. Robert, do you have a?
Well,
Or do we want to go back and try Bambi again?
Your Honor,
Yeah.
Go
I- I'm
Go ahead.
move that Bambi Johnson be appointed to the city council to fill the vacancy created by resignation of Braden Biggs until the seat is filled at the August 2022 primary election, or if there's no outright winner at this election or at the next regularly scheduled election, until the term ending January 7th, 2025.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Roll call again?
Councilmember Schroeder,
no.
Vice Mayor Rizzi,
No.
Councilmember Nesser,
Yes.
Councilmember Evans,
Yes.
Mayor Wilson.
And I'll vote yes on this one.
Motion passes, Your Honor. You have 2 new council members. If I could have both of them come down to do the oath of office before they take their seat.
Yeah, make sure you turn that off.
They color-coded. You guys dressed alike. You kind of match.
So, no, and actually, okay, I'm going to have you face this way because I'm sure she'd like to get a shot of you taking your oath of office. You'll both raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution and laws of the state of Arizona and the ordinances of the city of Apache Junction, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same and defend them against all enemies, foreign or domestic, and that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties of the office of City Council according to the best of my abilities, so help me God. Thank you. I'm going to have both of you sign your oath of office. I've got Andy right here.
Flip your coins, whichever one you want to take a seat at. Well, welcome aboard. It was an interesting opportunity going forward. And welcome to our group to continue on serving our community. Okay, can I have a motion for upcoming council dates?
Bambi.
You guys will have a script.
Your Honor, I move that an executive session at 6 p.m. for Monday, June 6th, and Tuesday, June 7th, 2022, be held in the City Council Conference Room located at 300 East Superstition Boulevard, Apache Junction, Arizona, and other meetings be scheduled if necessary.
Second.
Moved and seconded, roll call.
Councilmember Evans?
Yes.
Vice Mayor Rizzi?
Yes.
Councilmember Johnson?
Yes.
Councilmember Heck?
Yes.
Councilmember Nesser?
Yes.
Councilmember Schroeder?
Yes.
Mayor Wilson?
Yes.
Motion passes, Your Honor.
Okay. Call to the public. I would like to remind everyone that a call to the public is a courtesy, is not required by law. It's a time for the public to express requests, communications, comments, and suggestions. Requests to speak forms must have been completed and handed to city clerk before the end of the city manager's report. Excuse me. All issues shall be presented in a professional manner without personal attacks. Under the open meeting law, council cannot engage in a discussion on issues presented by, but may respond to criticism and may direct staff to follow up with the speaker directly or place the matter on future agenda for council's discussion. There's a 3-minute limit for each speaker. And Paula Easley? She left? Okay. Marilyn Evans? She also left.
No, she's.
No, right there she is.
Thank you. My name is Marilyn Evans. I'm the president of the Sunny Lane Estates HOA. We're located at Ironwood and Broadway, basically. Would like to address there's a marijuana store at Palo Verde and Apache Trail. The traffic from that store is, they keep going. We have a private street. They pay no attention to our speed limit, no attention to our no trespassing, no attention whatsoever. On the 420 day, we had customers from that store parking within our neighborhood, blocking driveways. We are a very narrow street. Fire and emergency personnel would have been hard-pressed to get down that street in case of an emergency. I would like for the council to consider that planning and zoning perhaps be looked at in the future. That corner is very small. It has 5 or 6 businesses, excuse me, located there. There's really no parking. At one time, I went to a restaurant that was in that location and was told I could not park in a handicap space, that they would tow me. There is no sign stating that's their personal business's parking space or anything like that. And so I just think that it's a poor location for a business of that type. They need to be moved elsewhere. And we also, I've been looking up all the city codes. I'm very new to this, so we have an alleyway on both sides of our private street. We have no gates or anything. It's a block wall fence that we, so to get around, we would have to drive around. In the city, we don't know how to clean up that. It's overrun with vegetation and actually garbage and trash from neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Michelle Thays?
Congratulations. I was here last month. I spoke to the council, the mayor, vice mayor, chief of police. I'm Michelle Thies. I'm one of the organizers of the Arizona International Female Ride Day. We had our event on May 7th. And as I stated, I was here last month and I pleaded for help, and I just wanted to say thank you to the council, the mayor, the vice mayor, and chief of police. We had 371 female motorcyclists come through Superstition Harley on that day. Completely incident-free, no accidents. All the ladies got to Superior safely. So I appreciate you going out of the box. We had to use some Arizona Rangers. I guess it was a real drain on the police force that day. It was a learning experience for us. It took us a long time to get out of the dealership. We're going to work on that for next year. But again, just wanted to say thank you, and we're looking forward to doing it next year. So thanks.
Thank you. Thanks. Donna Carr?
I'm Donna Carr, I'm an Apache Junction resident. I came in here this evening and I had steam coming out of my ears because I was upset about something. Got talked down a little bit to calm myself down, but I don't agree with one of the decisions that the city council had made, and I wanted to find out how I could get that changed. Now, I believe it's called a deferment or something like that, that I need to fill out a form and then get 1,700 and some signatures from registered voters. Now, I am not computer savvy. I don't know a lot of the stuff that you guys do, but back when Tom Kelly was police chief, if I had a problem with one of his officers, I'd just go and talk to him and find out a way how to resolve it if I needed to do paperwork or whatever to take care of the situation. Where with this is I'm more or less informed that I would have to fill out the form and file it, even if I was to make a mistake and it would get thrown out. I'm asking for help to be able to do this. And I'm willing to go out and get the signatures, no problem. But I'm not sure on how to fill out the form and all that stuff. So I would like to find out, and I'm not sure if one of the council members would be willing to help me to do that. I believe that, you know, sometimes decisions are made and it's not taken into consideration in the people in the whole area, that if you're only going to ask crackheads, you're not going to get much of a decision. And crackheads don't care what's happening. I mean, that lady that was talking about the weed place, and I understand. I mean, you're also going to put a drug and alcohol detox center right next to a weed place. I mean, come on now. A little bit more better on the planning and zoning would probably be good. And to say that even like over in my area, for that drug and alcohol detox place is not going to depreciate the value of the property over there, that's not true. And for it to pass 7-0 for planning and zoning, to say that it wouldn't affect the property values, that's not true. And thanks for your time.
Mr. Schroeder. George.
George Schroeder, 2444 West Virginia Street. I got 4 of them. Hopefully I can remember them all. First, I won the first noise war. I told you when you passed this ordinance, people were going to use it to harass other people. Well, they did, but they came out, and I knew the decibel of the radio from the neighbor's house. I had the cops go back, get the meter, do the test. Hands down, I won. I told you people were going to use it to harass other people. So it's kind of a moot point that you would pass the noise ordinance with this meter. Anyway, next. I took accounting in college, got 3 A's and a B, and the snowstorm was 79, didn't allow me to finish that class. I know accounting pretty well, pretty savvy guy with that. I know these people can make it look any way you need it to look, any way they need it to look. I'm glad they're doing due diligence. We want them to get that whatever, AAA, triple plus, whatever. Great. But that doesn't say everything that needs to be said. We're not getting the money to do my roads. I looked at the budget report last night. There's no money in there for my roads. People are promising me December or January. Doesn't look like it's going to happen. We'll deal with that in another way. Water. John Kyle, professed by many to be the water expert in Arizona. He deals with the federal government and others like the National Forest Service and conditions, climate conditions in the 50 to 100-year flood projects. So for our managers and their constituents nearby to say that we're good, we're not good. Listen, you just said it, we're tied to Mesa. Believe me, if push comes to shove, Mesa's going to bowl us over. They're going to take the water whether we like it or not. So get ready. You plan for these things without knowing the whole effect of the 100+ years of Arizona. They're going to come in, they're going to take it. Like the East Valley Partnership, they just come and they take what they want. Tomorrow we got a meeting at county. They want to borrow $125 million, and it's going to cost $100 million to borrow that money. And we don't get to see a dime of it. Thank you.
Okay, any comments from the council? Can we?
Your Honor?
Yes.
Yeah. Joel, am I not correct? We, as far as Donna Carr's request about filling out the form for council members, we can't assist her because we're not attorneys and we can't, if we were to help her fill out her form, that would be giving legal advice. And from my years of experience with the county attorney's office, we can't help someone do that. I mean, that's what attorneys are for if she needs advice how to fill out a legal document.
Well,
Here it comes.
The short version.
technically, I can't even really respond to that because this is your time for criticism. Now, if you're asking just a clarification, well, that's one way to put it, but I can't say much on it except that the city election official, myself, we cannot give legal advice. So.
And neither can we, correct, as council members?
Well, it's not recommended.
Okay.
Absolutely is not recommended.
I mean, I just wanted to respond to why I believe we cannot help her. So, well, I'll let it go at that. Thank you.
And can we get together with Maryland Evans on the trash and the
Absolutely, yes,
around?
Your Honor, we will do that.
Perfect.
Okay. And I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you.